on the phone. It's not horrible. We have a friend, welcome, Bob Betters. I'm on the phone here in the back. Gonna have this damaged Drew Estate cigar. Take a look at this sucker. It's got like all these cracks on it. So we're gonna see if it even survives the cello. Take a look at that. I know what happened to the cigar, but like take a look at it. All right, there's a crack there. There's a crack in the back. I wonder if this is even gonna smoke. But we're gonna try to smoke it. Right, and I know what occurred to this thing. Ooh, man, there's this crack right here. That spot right there might make it unsmokable. I might have needed. This is an instance where I always say, oh, just leave it alone, let it be, don't fuck with it, don't mess with it. Where this instance, it might have needed like the glues that they sell out there, because that cut right there, I don't know if you guys can catch that. Let me take it out of the cello here. This is going to be a tough one, people. This is going to be, I was going to smoke something else, and I was like, well, should I smoke this indoors? And it's like, I can't. I got it for free, so it's not like I could return it, or I would return it if I went to my local shop and said, hey, what's wrong with this cigar? Can I get another one? Maybe I could get away with it, but it's not. Once you leave, man, this one, it doesn't look like it was my fault, but I know what it was. It was handed to me or given to me for free, and it was probably a little dry. And I put it into the container, or in the bag with the other cigars, with the, Bovita pack in there, and it just shocked it. It was just too much humidity. It feels nice and soft, right? I don't want to squeeze it too much. I could, like I said, possibly could go back, but I didn't pay for it. Why would, they could probably, oh man, even the end is cracked. Like it's cracked all over the place. Man, it wasn't squished. I can't guarantee that it wasn't me, right? Like I wouldn't do that to the shop, right? I wouldn't do it, and I got it for free, so I'm not going to. I think I got this for free. Did I get it for free? I had to have gotten it for free. I wonder if I should go back and we're gonna try to smoke it. It might not be smokable, but we're gonna give it a go, right? We're gonna give it a go. Might as well here. I normally would have probably got this back. Let me see here. I'm taking it out of the cello. That's a challenge here. Let me do something here. Let me see if I could. Hello, the ID. I don't know. The IDK to DKK. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you. Give me a moment here. I'm actually trying to do something to a cigar, IDK. So, but welcome, IDK. All right, no way, IDK. Let me put that on my tea. I just put it on. Yeah, I could just put it on the tea. Don't take any tea. But yeah, look at how messed up this thing is right now. Cracks all over the place. We're gonna give it a go. Yeah, look at those cracks. Yeah, this is gonna be a challenge, people. I don't think I've ever smoked a cigar this cracked before in my life. I could almost get a draw from the crack off the top. That's how bad this is. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh man, be delicate with it. Yeah, I'm delicate with it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think I got this for free. I'm worried about this crack right there, that thing. Like it's gonna come unpeeling, but we're gonna give it a go. Right? Like if I'm gonna smoke anything, I could smoke something great, but if I'm just gonna smoke something on the whim and I wanted a Connecticut, it's gonna be. I'll still give you the honest review. Right? It still gets to review. I'm afraid to squeeze it, even with the cuts. Yeah, I don't know about the fillers on this cigar. I wasn't impressed with the black and line from Jewish states, and that's what the are. I wasn't so impressed with this at all anyways. Yeah, very soft, no pepper. That's good. But no butterscotch. Lots of cedar. Or lots of wood. Yeah, you know, it was in a humidor, but in a bag with its cello, so it's rather fresh. It didn't breathe. It hasn't breathed since storage. And then it probably dried when I got it. I'm balding very badly. That's okay. I got a haircut today. Yes, I'm balding. I'm at the age where I wouldn't say I'm balding very badly. I'm just balding. Like balding very badly would mean that I had this probably, and it doesn't matter. Like if this were all gone, and then I just had the sides that possibly could fill in, that's pretty badly, or could be. I mean, I don't really care about that. That's not really a problem or an issue for me, right? I've never been vain about my hair, even though I used to have really nice hair when I was younger, like a lot of men. My dad spent a lot of money on hair. My neighbor's spending a ton of money on his hair. That's just not me. You know, rather than spend 10 grand on my hair at this point, or 15 grand, I'd take that money and I would just go to Italy, or I'd go to, you know, my friends and I were discussing going to Vienna or go to Africa or something like that. I'll just take a trip. Like, why would I spend the small amount of money that I would have on a yeah. And I'm also gonna have this cigar with the Moser Roth 90% chocolate. Oh, it's 70% cocoa. And I have some cookies, and we'll see if I'm able to get some of these cookies into me while I'm talking, right? Nobody cares. Yeah, I know nobody cares. Exactly. Nobody cares. I love that nobody cares. Who is that nobody cares? Who said that? Nazi Israel. Yeah, nobody cares. I know nobody cares. Nobody cares. Here's a quarter. Call somebody that gives a damn, right? Nobody cares. Exactly. Nobody even cares about the cigar. Nobody cares about the channel. We're going to smoke this fucker, though, man. We're going to light it up. Oh, I hold it really far away. This thing's powerful. I saw some dude, he was like just starting to light it like this. And he kept on lighting it. And it's a fresh cigar. And this is a guy, I'm not going to mention the name, it smokes a lot of cigars. And it should know better, or just doesn't. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, when I was watching him light the cigar, I was like, what the fuck is that guy doing? But it is what it is. Yeah, so I'm going to hold this far away, as you could see. And it's hard to see the flame. That's another reason why but it's charring on a Connecticut cigar, which these are. Oh no, I touched the leaf. Use that band. That's why the bands are there, and this isn't even a big band. I was rolling it right where that major tear is. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh shit, I just burnt part of the cigar. Doing that. Showing you that. And there's a little wind here. Yeah, so I did something crazy wrong too there. Look at that. Burned part of the cigar. I don't know if you can notice it. Oh, I'm losing part of my yeah, by the time I'm done with this lighting here, as you'll see, nobody cares. The aromas off of it are really nice. I love the aromas off of like lighting a cigar like this rather than, whoa, that was a little hot. Yeah, that's the danger of talking and looking in the street, man. I got a little too much char there. Yeah, do not try this at home, people. This is not a good burn, but it's going to work. I have to order some more butane. Man. Yeah, look at, boom, hold it far away. A moment here. Yeah, I lit this poorly, guys. That was a very poor light, even by my standard. By my standards, I should say. I don't normally light it this poorly. Not a horrible flavor, though. I don't like, see how that little unevenness is there? And it's sort of, oh. Everything that could go wrong with the cigar is going wrong. Except the flavor. The flavor is not horrible. Let's see what somebody said there. Let me teach you how to light a cigar. Playboy, no problem. Dakota, no problem. There's plenty of ways to light a cigar. You could teach me how to light a cigar. That's not a problem. I have no ego. My only thing I would say is I've lit cigars for a lot more people than you have. I guarantee that. I'm not saying that I've lit more cigars than you, but I've lit cigars for others without touching them. Definitely more than you have, but by far. I admit that was a poor light there, Playboy. All right, Dakota. That wasn't the best performance on the cigar lighting at all. We're still getting a great draw off this, despite all these cracks, man. Look at that. Look at this sucker. The fissures in here. Like this thing, I'm lucky just to get a couple smokes off of it. And thank God it was free. I think it was free. I keep saying thank God it was free. Because I bought some of these blackened cigars at, the shops that I was at their Christmas party. And it's worth it to go to those parties and those events. If I told people before, like if you buy like 5 cigars, I got like 5 free. And this was one of them. And 2 of the cigars that I got were the 20 Acre Farm cigars, which are the better Connecticut's. And that's why I'm smoking this thing, because I wanted a Connecticut. And I grabbed this as opposed, especially when I saw I was like, oh, it's damaged. And I didn't see how bad it was damaged. I just saw a couple fissures in it. And now looking at this fucker, this thing is like, I'm telling you, this is one of the most damaged cigars I've ever smoked. I've smoked cigars older than probably Mr. Miller, right? What's his first name? Dakota. Probably cigars older than Dakota that were in bad condition, but not as bad as this cigar. A lot of times I just won't even bother smoking them. Or what I'd recommend, if a cigar is this poorly messed up, don't smoke it outdoors like I'm doing. That's another thing. But I'm just surprised there's not a ton of wind right here. Let me keep that out of the wind if it's facing the wind. But it seems it's a mono flavored cigar. It really doesn't have anything more than the cedar, and that's not fair to the cigar because I didn't take it out of the cello. I didn't put it like in to open up at all. And now I'm thinking maybe where I have the other cigars might be bad, but not necessarily, because there were some other 20 Acre Farm Connecticut's in there, but those are like cedar wrapped as well. They have a cedar wrapping to them, right? That's underneath, inside the cello is a cedar that helps. And they weren't a shock because those I paid for, except for a couple of them, or one of them. I don't remember. It is what it is. It's going to end up burning okay. It was lit all right. Nothing horrible. Yeah, I find those that people still make, like, here's how you light a cigar videos, after they've made tons of content. I guess anything to get content. Have I made a, I don't know. I don't know if I've made, I made content for content, like just like now. Like I wasn't anticipating on going live. My buddy told me to go live and he's not even here. People are at the Cubs game. It's not people. It's overcast right now. It might be cooler near the lake here in Chicago, as it always sort of is, but it might not. I think it's great weather for a baseball game, right? You have a hoodie on or a sweater. You could still wear, your jersey, your Cubs jersey over the sweater. You bring a jacket like I have on my, or another jacket for the end of the game, which nowadays the games are fast, so you won't even need it. I think it's going to be warmer by the end of the game than it is right now. So it's not horrible, right? It's not raining. There is not a ton of wind, so which makes actually the cigar smoking okay. I see why it's like the shade over black now, because it does finish with a little almost perique, almost like that. Like reminds me of the Stillwell series a little bit. Like it has like this, because there's a contrast of something in here. Like the finish is so different than the start. Like it has this very nice light sort of start, soft wood, and then it finishes with a little bit more of this peat perique that more, with a little not harsher of a finish, but a little bit different. Let me open up my chocolate. I hate putting down the cigars, but there is my chocolate here. Ooh, look at how dark that chocolate is, huh? Let's crack it a little bit there. Crack that little piece, huh? Not bad balding. The chocolate is not a compliment for this. The chocolate, because it is such a pure, strong chocolate, it's bringing out that peat, that perique flavor, a lot stronger that's part of the cigar. It's sort of enhancing it, and it's sort of like strong with strong. And I usually like that. I should have brought out the white chocolate with it, and that's my mistake. Another thing gone wrong. It's all right. And I'm having a fruity hibiscus tea with it. So add that to the crazy mix of everything. Like we're doing everything just blended differently today. It's a little different. One thing I'm really surprised about right now throughout the city, all the dogwood trees and the cherry blossom trees are all blooming like so early. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, right? They're all over the place. They're so beautiful. And it's almost a shame. Maybe they'll bloom again. Do they bloom more than once in a season? I'd assume they do. And what happens after, like they're blooming now, what happens in the summer to those types of trees? Do they just garnish leaves at that point and then come fall bloom again? Somebody, if I had the computer, I would look. If I, on the infamous Chat GPT, look in Chat GPT, man. Yeah, look at those fissures. Look at that. Look at that big one there. It's still getting a draw. And in between, you could see that binder. The binder has more of the cinnamon crimson look to it. And that's what's sort of underneath. The Connecticut leaf looks very delicate. Maybe that's on Drew Estates, like quality-wise, maybe. But they're always fairly, thin. Delgado, they're not like the cigar leaves aren't like, leathery, right? It's not like a piece of leather. It's very soft. Yeah, I see what the blenders were going for here. They were going, the start has that nice little light wood, almost like peanut buttery character. And then underneath is like this peat, and spice to finish it, right? Almost more of like a licorice. And they're trying to create like this contrast. And it sort of works. It's just not for me. Right? It's not for me. And the chocolate that I chose isn't the best for it. And I'm assuming that the tea that I'm going to be drinking here is not going to be the best tea to accompany this cigar as well. Yeah, I'm getting the draw is getting a little more challenging now. When it's getting closer to the fissures, I could tell that it's a little bit more of a challenge to draw. Like with all the holes in the cigar, it's tough. But I got some good lungs, so just gotta draw it a little harder, puff a little harder. Yeah. So, oh yeah. Yeah, strong woods to peat, which isn't typical of your Connecticut's. This is a stronger Connecticut. It's lagging. Joey's like, it's lagging. It's lagging. It is what it is. Joey, on the Kohlberger thing, why the Kohlberger thing is interesting is like, they have to be able to connect the knife, right? And know that they don't know exactly, they need the knife, right? It's not like a bullet. A knife is not like a bullet. A bullet is traceable. If they find the actual lead or the casing of the bullet, they could, like, for example, in a shooting, they could determine that, where the gun, what gun it was shot out of, right? Whereas a knife, I don't think, no matter what knife it was, you can't tie, if you stab something, you can't tie a knife in particular. You could say the type of knife it was, but you can't say specifically it was that knife that was used. Where in a pistol, a rifle, a bullet has a fingerprint. A knife does not have a fingerprint, right? Unless there was DNA on it or something that was uniquely identifying in some way, in a unique shape. Even that, there is nothing unique, even though the knife could be unique, there's nothing that once you utilize the knife, it's not like a fingerprint, right? If you have bushy eyebrows, you get the death penalty. Well, mine were cut. I hate dark chocolate. Yeah, the dark chocolate isn't working with this cigar, but I should have went with the. No, but that's the other thing. It's like people buy the same products, but they have that product and they know that it was a big knife that did it, right? That's all they know. That kind of detail you could get, like if it was a serrated knife, they could probably determine the size of the blade. But all that stuff, how do you connect the blade to him? It doesn't matter. You can say, you could know exactly what type of knife it was used, exactly, down to the menu, whatever. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to know by the cuts and the depth. They might know like the depth and length, or the length of the blade and how wide it might be. Those things they might be able to determine. But there's tons of knives that are probably that depth and that they cut that depth and that length, right? And you're right, Joey. What if I bought that same knife? Does that make me a suspect? Because that was the knife that was used in the murders? Man, this cigar might not last. Oh, damn, got some ash out of it. The tea's good, though. I'm going to use the tea as a stand. Oh, it's nice weather out here. Ooh. See the ash? That's my fault, putting it down in the ashtray. There you go, Playboy. Don't fuck with your cigars when they have these breaks. Maybe the repair would have worked, especially that Fisher right there. Right there, look at that thing. The repair stuff might have worked, but I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to let it be, smoke through it. Don't add anything to it. I'm just lucky that it's not a windy day here. That's why indoors, if your cigar is damaged like this, normally, and you really need to smoke it, and you can't return it or whatever, indoors when there's no wind is the best way to go. Smoke it indoors. Don't touch it too much in that area. Don't fuck with it. Don't put the lip on it, the thing. Just let it be. Let it be. Right? What is about what? Falling off? Who? Oh, the GFL? Yeah, dude, it sounds like it was a scam to begin with. Right? Like, not really a scam, because they didn't scam anybody. It's the managers and these fighters' fault. Like, if I were our established fighter like Tony Ferguson, like Matt, Chris Weidman, Anderson Silva, all these guys, Hall's there, all these fighters, I'd be like, just to use my image and my likeness, you have to give me initially a down payment. You have to give me something just to say I might come aboard before I even sign the contract. I need X amount in advance, because this could happen. And now what happens if the GFL sells and people are able to, like, those fighters aren't there and they're able to use their likenesses still, right? They're able to use their images and any promotion that they might have already made for the organization. What if they, that could become property of somebody else? So, I mean, I would blame the fighters on that. Like, that's the fighter's fault on that side. If they did any promotion already for him, and Ferguson might be the person that, like, oh, what the fuck, did I just get pooped on? No. Oh, Vitali. I initially thought the Vitali thing was a scam. I thought that it was all like he was in cahoots with someone corrupt over there in the Philippines. But no, I just saw something where the deputy secretary of the country, and he's new, he's a new politician, and it was his first TV appearance. And what did he go on talking about? He wasn't talking about Vitali. He wasn't talking about, like, the political or the economic situation in the Philippines. He wasn't talking about national security. He was he was talking about Vitali, and he was saying that he wants Vitali to serve time in the Philippines, and that's what the ministers, the premiers, their head politician, that's their wish, is that he serves time in. They want to jail him. So I think initially I thought it was a fake, that they were involved in sort of the whole, not skit, but the whole thing of it, that they were not accomplices, but he was going to be able to get out of it. And I bet he thought so too. He was just smiling during certain things. He was like, "Oh, can I give a speech? Blah blah blah." But nope. I think he thought he was going to be able to get away with this, and I don't think he's. I think this is real. I think it's legitimate that he is in a lot of trouble, and they piled on charges. I mean, they have him for assault. They have him for multiple thefts. They have him for public indecency. They got him for like 8 different charges, if not more. And what usually that means, and here in the States or anywhere, is the more charges they get, they want time. They're looking for jail time for this guy. And that's what the assistant or the deputy premier, like their assistant, I don't know if the assistant vice president basically was saying, we're going to, he's going to, we're going to keep him here. We're going to keep him in jail, even if Russia tries to intervene, because he's a Russian citizen, right? He's a Russian citizen. What did Joey say? They said the trial can be in 2 years because they're so backed up. The Philippines jail has got to be horrible. He is screwed. Philippine jail has got to be it's got to be horrible. And he was wearing his MAGA hat too. So I bet he was thinking, oh, Trump will fucking try to get me out of this. I don't know if Trump's going to be effective here, buddy. The way things are going, I don't think so. 80 people to a cell. Oh, this tea is so good. Honey and a little lemon with the hibiscus. Oh, that's yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yeah, he's in problems, man. Vitali's, and he deserves it. Because I didn't know that he'd been in like 6 different countries already, doing like fucking over the years. Like he was doing shit everywhere, all over the world. And so they hate that too in the Philippines. They're like, you cannot come here and make a fool of us, is what the assistant premier said. We will not be made a fool of like these other countries. So they're pissed. They're pissed that that he would come and have the arrogance to think that he could treat the people this way, right? And the assistant premier said that we are very loving, kind people, and he was wanted to take advantage of our kindness. They're pissed. When they say stuff like that, that's like they're taking it politically and personal, and like he is mistreating us, that he's came to exploit the people there, and they don't want that, right? And then that one dude that confronted him even said that. He's like, you're exploiting the people here. Joey, you sent me the link of that, and I saw that a few weeks ago. The American guy who confronted him on the live, who said he shouldn't be doing it. And that dude that was confronting him was not scared of him. Vitali backed down. If you look at that dude was a big dude. And he wasn't going to hit him. He's like, I'm a peaceful person. And you could tell that, like, if Vitali did something, he was about to get smoked. Oh yeah, Vitali was scared. Heck, it was a big guy. He was speaking like kindly. He was making sense, and he was pissed off. There was a moment there where he could have lost his cool, and you saw him almost could have lose his cool. And you could tell that he's just a good person and didn't lose his cool. But if that were a smaller guy, Vitaly would have tried messing with him. He would have tried bullying him, and which you can't do. Like, yeah, Russia doesn't want him. Why would they go out on a limb and embarrass themselves? Why would they pursue any diplomatic ties to somebody that is, somebody that goes around and harasses people around the world? Why would they try to, defend them? The crimes were committed in the Philippines. That's what the assistant premier said, was that the crimes were committed in the Philippines. So Russia has no jurisdiction there. That he's going to be tried in the Philippines, and they're not going to extradite him to Russia. They're like, why would we do that? So we're at that first fissure, and right away, when we get there, there's some odd burning, and we're going to see the cigar definitely become a little bit more disheveled, and that's to be expected, right? So I'm just hoping to get through this bad period here. It's just not my taste of cigar, so I can't give it a proper rating. And it was damaged, right? That is a bonus to it in a way, rather than a fault, because it still is smoking. So, but a rating again isn't fair to the cigar, to me. Can't even see the planes right now. Of course, I truly like tasting cigars. What's up, man? Where you off to? Some frozen yogurt. That wouldn't be bad with the cigar. But yes, Joey, I do actually enjoy the taste of cigars, or else I wouldn't smoke them. Oh, you're saying fruity cigars? That's a good question. I've not had any fruit-like cigars. Like, some of them might have a little citrus in them. This one doesn't. Like, and on a Connecticut, sometimes it might have like a citrus undertone that's not super common, right? So, but fruity, no. Fruity is not really like something or a note or a flavor characteristic that is common in cigars. And you could apply it afterwards, but I'm not into those like flavored cigars at that point. Like, I might as well just vape, because that's what you're probably smoking, is like the same glycol flavored stuff, chemical that is in a vape. And again, going back, you see it canoeing like this or burning unevenly, don't go back, relight the thing. Just let the cigar be. Let the cigar do the work. It will correct itself, right? If it were rolled well, which this one probably was, because I'd assume anything coming out of Drew Estates is good at, good to be decent in terms of its quality control. Can you have a meal with cigars? Yeah, meals are preferred with cigars. Eating before, during, or afterwards, especially dessert. But yeah, or during. Steak with a cigar is fucking yummy. Or a cigar because a cigar, just like the chocolate, sometimes eating a meal. And some chefs may not like it, like that you're smoking while eating. But if you're gonna, a cigar is one of those products, and then even weed. Yeah, you can have it, right? There's no rules. That's the rules. The rules are there are no rules. Not a bad cigar. A lot of that peat is still there, but it's mellower now, which I'm surprised. I'm surprised that it's that flavor note, that one dissipated a little bit. Everybody knows the rules. You know the rules. You know the rules. The rule is there are no rules. That's the rule. You want to stuff out the cigar and have a little pour etiquette, go on ahead and stuff the cigar. Go on ahead. There are no rules. You know the rules. You want to have a cigar with your ice cream, you go on ahead and have a cigar with your ice cream. You want to eat as you're smoking a cigar, you go ahead and have that. Right? You can go on ahead and eat. You want to have a cigar with tea, you go on ahead and have tea with your cigar. You want chocolate with your cigar, you go on ahead and have that chocolate. There are rules about your behavior. Your etiquette is what your etiquette is. You, not the cigar. Your behavior is important, not really what you're doing with the cigar. And that Fisher's still there, man. It's really there. I don't know what Joey's saying there. I can barely see it. I'll take a look in a moment, Joey. But yeah, Vitali's smoked. Vitali's like this cigar. Damaged and smoked. He is very much like the cigar. He thought it was funny. He was laughing and jumping on cars and jumping on people's mopeds and taking their hats, telling a woman, "Oh, that was a robbery." He was charged because that one woman, he's like, "I'm going to rob you if you don't." He said something to that one woman who spoke perfect English. And he said something to her like, "I'm going to rob you if you blah, blah, blah." And so he's being charged with robbery, and multiple complaints were made. I think that's why they went and got him. It wasn't just like the police people that complained. There were like multiple people. So he's got multiple charges, multiple accusations by, multiple people that he perpetrated or that he assaulted or did crimes to. So he's fucked. And who knows if they get him with some other charges that he attempted to bribe them, because I'm certain he did. Because that's what I assumed that he was doing, was that he had bribed the people and he was in cahoots with them and he paid them money to, I bet that he was thinking that was going to happen. He's like, oh, I'm going to be able to pay these people off. I'm going to play through all this stuff. I'm going to go through it, and then I'm going to pay them off later on. I'm also glad I was going to go to the store and get a cigar to smoke today. And I'm glad I didn't. Oh, man, that finish is really nice now. That peak, that perique, that little spice. Really nice. Yeah, that's nice. Very peanutty. This is like a cigar that a Connecticut wrap shade cigar that I would not give to a newbie. It's not soft enough for him. It has that stronger finish, and I'll have to figure out what it was underneath later on. As you guys know, I do almost all my tasting off the hip. I don't go read like what the binder was, what the fillers are, if it was a pure puro, a pure Nicaraguan. More likely, this is a lot of Nicaraguan here. I'm assuming an Ecuadorian Connecticut shade with a Nicaraguan binder or a Mexican binder. Mexican, it seems like it would be more of a Mexican binder. It's a spicy binder, a little more cinnamon, that peat, and that peat taste, right? It looks more like cinnamon on the inside. If you look at the you could see the binder because of the fissures, right? You could see the binder color, right? What does Joey say there? He took it wasn't funny. Yeah, Planet Earth cigars, Planet Earth weekend discounts. Yeah, he took the cops, and those were some. I think the most severe charge is when he took the cycle, but when he threatened the woman with robbery, and she stopped and looked at him like "fuck you," you know what I mean? Like she was not having it, and he fucked with the wrong people there. I bet the old lady that he was fucking with, and some of the ladies that he was messing with on the tables, and he was grabbing their phones and saying like derogatory things to them, because I think he was also charged with like some kind of lewdness, right? Like because he said certain things to the women that was very inappropriate. Like, do me with the banana. Didn't he say that to the cop too? I think he did it to the women as well. I'm not positive. And we see the cigar exploding because the heat. If it burns very unevenly, that is burned this even, is pretty good. It shows that it was really rolled okay, right? That it was actually a well-rolled cigar. Joey, I'm not gonna like improve the rating because I'm not gonna give a rating to the cigar because it just isn't my taste. And at this point, I'd have to give it points. Give it points for holding up and still having good flavor despite it being damaged. And I think it's the blend. The blend is actually a really decent blend. Is this a Connecticut shade blend that I would buy normally? Absolutely not. Right? I would want just a Habano or a standard or a different standard. I shouldn't say standard, but a different cigar to attain this flavoring, because the Connecticut, the softness gets lost in the mix here. The binder and the fillers are still too strong. It has that more of that peat it has more of that, like it loses the nutty character, right? It has no sense of butterscotch. Like the start, it doesn't have that nice silky softness that we like in a Connecticut shade wrapper, right? It doesn't, because of the blend. It has that more full, stronger characteristic to it. So no, the rating can't go up, but you got to give props to Drew Estates, man. Drew Estate makes some really, really good smokes, really good cigars. They obviously are paying attention to the, have good rollers. Not bad. And at this stage, I definitely have to smoke it more or it will go out. Stronger cedar at this point because I have to draw on it a lot in order to keep it burning. I don't like that, but that's not the fault of the cigar. It's just damaged. It's a damaged cigar, but it's not like the blend of the tobacco. It's not the manufacturing process of it. Again, I think what happened was that the cigar was dry when I was given it. I shocked it. It got shocked in the container or in the packaging that I had. It's, since Christmas, and I didn't look at it. So this 4 months old, and I didn't take it out of the cello, and I didn't age it. The tea is fantastic, though. Yeah, this stage right here, hard to get a draw. When it's this damaged, it's very tough to draw. And I could see it losing heat, losing its continuity because the continuity is damaged. It's damaged, and that's giving it a little bit harsher, sort of stronger nicotine, stronger licorice. That's harsh, not harsh, I would say, but stronger on the palate because I have to nurse it more. I'm gonna go use the washroom smoking this. Yeah, it's much peppery. Now it's tough to smoke. It wants a lot of attention now because it is damaged, and it changes too much of the characteristic on it. Yeah, another reason why it's harsher is because look at the wrapper on it. It's fully exploded, right? So you're not tasting the wrapper, which is the Connecticut. So now you're just smoking the binder and the filler. So you're getting more of that peat and the darker aspects of it. And I'm eating some dark chocolate with it. Yeah, this part is not pleasurable to smoke. It's not. It's just too much. It requires a lot of work. It's not very tasty. It's a little harsher on the back of the throat. There was sort of like a retro hill, but it wasn't intentional. And it didn't have a lot of flavor. It was just too smoky. And then you see now where it's starting to burn very unevenly. We just need to get past that point, and it's going to get better again, hopefully. Right? Shout out to Drew Estates, though, for one, giving me the cigar. And I mean, giving at an event. And two, that it's still, even though it was broken, it still was rolled really well. You could still see that the binder and the fillers still had remained somewhat consistent. And it was the wrapper that exploded, right? With those fissures. And it has fissures all over it, man. All over it. And this was a bigger cigar. It has a ring gauge on here. Or it did. I thought it did. Yeah, a 6x52 Toro. 6x52. So the 52 ring gauge. So we're at an hour. And if this were like in good condition, it would have lasted an hour and a half, not longer. It still might. Right? It's still, you know, a good size cigar. And there went most of the uneven part. Ash by itself. Got on the clothes a little bit. Just dust it off. And now it's smoking better already. The draw's better. It's breathing better again. There's another big fissure coming, but nothing as bad as that section right there. Oh, I just saw a bee. Good and bad. Well, he didn't. He did need to go out. Dog is a little sick. Oh, that sucks that happened, but let's see. Still kept lit. Still kept lit. Yeah. Hopefully he's just ill and it's not something. Ah, that was good, that tea. Mm. Yeah, it's a shame that it was a good blend. For what it is, it was probably a good blend. Not my style, but not a bad blend. I know what they were going for. Thankfully, the dog didn't pee on the. I mean, he took a poop on the floor, not on the couch or something. Mm. Chocolate is saving the cigar. I can't taste any of the Connecticut almost. It has more of that peanut butter like character, but the peat or whatever the filler and binder were are overwhelming the Connecticut. I'm going to keep that band on there as long as possible. As long as possible, because there's that big fissure right there all the way to the band. And I'm not going to smoke it all the way to the end. Right, we're already at past the hour mark. I might have to go in and help my mom clean up the poopy. A little mopping. She doesn't use the mop anymore. Look at that, see? Leave it alone. Just let it do its thing. It draws back. There goes a little bit of that Connecticut. You're the Cardinal someplace. I see him. I spotted you. Looks like somebody put one of those cigar fevers or blows up your cigar. Okay. That's why I taste peanuts. It may contain peanuts, hazelnuts, and almonds, and coconut, and other tree nuts. So a lot of this might have been the nuts I was tasting. Might have been the chocolate instead of the cigar. Good to know. Good to know. But I think that might be it. Might be it for the stream, people. If you made it this far, you are about better. I appreciate anybody that came into the stream. Ooh. Might have another draw of this or two, but I'm still able to enjoy it. Enjoy a cigar. A little more work than usual. A lot more talking about the cigar than usual. Or not really. That's good that I'm talking so much about it. Very untypical Connecticut shade. Very untypical. But we know the rules. There are no rules. And they wanted to change that with this cigar. Like to put something that was a little more spicy, a little more robust underneath the Connecticut was, I think, the goal. And I don't know if that blend is, I was about to say fruitful, but it wasn't what it probably wanted or what they might have wanted. But I don't know. It's drawing well right now. That's why I'm almost like, oh, I was going to end the stream and not, but if I could keep smoking it, I want to show you that even the damaged cigar will smoke to the nub. We'll get to the end. And I didn't put any of the glues. I didn't put lip on any of the things. I didn't try to alter the cigar in any way. The fissures are almost all gone. Right? We smoked through all the fissures of the cigar. So now it's like intact finally. I'm all out of my tea. I need more tea to sort of clear the palate. And there we go. Now it's like what it should be, despite looking awkward. It was well constructed. Thank you, Drew Estates. Not a bad smoke. Again, not my blend, not something that I was expecting, but that's good too. Yeah, it's burning a little hot. Strong peat flavor. Very strong peat. I'm not going to ash it. I was about to tap that part off, but I didn't. All right, well, thank you so much, everybody that did come into the stream. We really appreciate you. Don't fuck with your damaged cigars. Keep smoking them. Leave them alone. You don't need all those, those products to change the cigar. And I can still smoke this thing. I just didn't particularly like it, so I'm not going to go all the way to the nub with it. Yes, it's satisfying that nicotine sort of fix that you might want, but flavor-wise, it is stronger, and it's just not what I was looking for today. But now it's drawing the best, almost the best it had in the whole cigar. Because now there's no fissures, there's no cracks, right? I can't even ash it if I wanted to. It's good construction. Drew Estate, man, it makes good stuff. They make good products. They have good rollers there. Let this cigar be. We're going to end the stream. Thank you so much. We are out.